Les voy a contar una confidencia.
I'm going to tell you something private.
Yo en el bolsillo
In my pocket,
llevo siempre dos cosas.
I always carry two things.
Un rosario,
Rosary,
un rosario para rezar
to pray,
y una cosa que parece extraña.
something which seems odd.
¿Qué es esto? Y esto es la historia del fracaso de Dios.
This here, in this item, is the history of God's failure.
When Pope Francis died, many people cried. Others remained silent. But few realized what was behind this departure. A succession of signs and symbols that had been ignored for years. What seemed to be just the end of a pontificate hides something much bigger. Something that was already being communicated. Not to our conscious, but to our subconscious. And today, I'm going to show you what you need to see, before it's too late. No one imagined that the Pope's death would be accompanied by images full of hidden messages. During the funeral, something went unnoticed by many, but not by those who understand symbolism. The black snake-shaped cloth over the coffin was not a random choice. The position of the cardinals forming a kind of eye around the body recalls ancient Masonic structures associated with the vigil of the great architect. This detail, far from being decorative, communicates a spiritual reality different from that taught by Christ. For those who think it's a coincidence, just look at the altar. The same statue, La Resurrezione, where the figure of Jesus seems to writhe like a serpent being born from darkness. Why keep this as the main funeral fund? It's not just about aesthetics, it's subliminal communication. While people's consciousness was moved by death, their subconscious absorbed other signs: transition, hidden power, and inverted worship. This symbolic manipulation explains why so many people leave these events with an inexplicable feeling of spiritual restlessness. Added, it is no surprise that within the Vatican itself there are Masonic lodges and pagan symbols printed on the walls. The Pope's death was the big smoke signal for something coming, and few are paying attention. But calm down. What comes next is even more disturbing. Have you ever heard of the Vatican Audience Room? That building that, seen from above, looks like a snake's head? It's not a conspiracy theory, it's official architecture, commissioned by a pope. The roof, purposely designed like scales, the windows shaped like reptile eyes, the altar like the serpent's mouth. Everything was meticulously planned to convey a message without words. And where was the Pope during his public audiences? At the exact point of the serpent's mouth. He spoke from there, like someone projecting invisible messages from the womb of symbolism. This is not fiction. It is semiotics applied at the deepest level. The entire building is an inverted prayer, designed to reprogram the unconscious of whoever enters. The question that few have the courage to ask is, why? Why are there so many anti-Christian symbols in the heart of the Church? Who is behind this decoration? These questions need to be asked now, because if we wait for the next crisis to open our eyes, it may be too late. Many were shocked by the attire worn by the Pope in the last ceremonies before his death. In the center of the cassock, a strange symbol which few people recognized at first. He was the Atacama giant, a 300-foot-tall pagan deity, worshipped as the god of agriculture by the ancient peoples of the Chilean desert. According to historical records, this figure is linked to fertility and harvest rituals, practices condemned in the Old Testament as abominable idolatry. Why, then, did the highest leader of the Catholic Church wear a symbol of a pagan god on his official attire? How can this be justified within the monotheistic Christian tradition? Someone might say, it's just culture. But culture does not appear at the center of the papal cassock by chance, even more so at critical moments of spiritual transition. What appears to be just a visual detail is, in fact, a signature. a silent signature, showing that the alliances made long ago have become undeniable. In the center of the Paul VI room, the same one used for the Pope's audiences, is the work La Resurrezione. It was supposed to represent the resurrection of Christ, but what does it really convey? Take a good look. A twisted Christ, who looks more like he's leaving the underworld than overcoming death. A disfigured, almost unrecognizable face. The artistic pattern of this statue is radically different from all classical representations of Jesus in the history of Christian art. Here, there is no glory. There is agony. This type of work was not commissioned by accident. In symbolism, the image is a seed planted in the collective psyche, a silent inversion of Christ's victory over death. When the Pope's death is celebrated under the shadow of this sculpture, what exactly is being celebrated? Christian hope, or the installation of a new spiritual era. Maybe you've never noticed this before, but now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it. The final question is, what kind of resurrection are they preparing for the world?